this unintended benefit was probably the highlight of my trip. Hey there, welcome back. This is Brandon DeVere. Thank you, as always, for tuning in and sharing your time with me. I do appreciate that. So I've been kind of in and out of town a little bit recently and going on a couple trips. And this last trip that I went on was specifically to go help my dad kind of clean out his house. He's had some health issues, things like that, and has had 50 years of living in the same house, essentially, and things just accumulating over time. And me and my sister finally got together. We're like, hey, we're gonna go clean this out, give him some new space because he doesn't like to throw anything away. I think it's that kind of age that does that. But there was one thing that I wasn't expecting to have this happen. I knew that we'd get resistance. I knew that we would run into him not wanting to throw a lot of things away. So we did get that, and we did have some challenges and things like that. But the reason I wanted to share this aspect of it is because this is, as we're growing, growing rev share groups and things like that. There's certain things that kind of take us off track. I mean, I took my laptop, my mic, all the stuff, camera stuff. I was going to do episodes from up there, but then we're putting in like 10-hour days, knocking all that out. And it's just things that kind of knock us off, even in our regular growth, right? Even in if we're going to do, trying to find homes for buyers, sellers, things like that, or if we're trying to schedule appointments to meet with agents in these other cities that we go to. I don't think I opened my computer once while I was there. I was there for 6 days. And normally I'm have it open, do all this stuff, but this was a mission. We were going there to do this one thing, and it was really like cathartic for him in a way. And I recommend anybody do this if you have the opportunity. There's two things that I've learned in the last year or so. One of my best friends passed away last year at the age of 43. It was a bummer. He was sick for a long time, but something that we did for him that I hadn't seen anybody do. I'm sure it's been done before. I just hadn't seen it before. But we put together a video of people. It was like a 30-minute video of people just saying, hey, hey, keep the fight going, all this stuff. And just all we wanted to do was let him know that everyone was thinking about him and loved him. And he had moved from one state to another and had only been there for a handful of years. And we grew up together. Like our parents went to school together. Our grandfathers were like in the fire department together, like back in the 30s, 1930s, almost 100 years ago. So we have that lineage going back that far. And then he moved to a new place, and it just became, he wasn't alone, but he just didn't have the group right there next to him as he had his entire life. But we did this for him, and really most people get these videos and things like at their funeral, so they never get to see him. They never get to know anything about that. And so that one was kind of an on accident thing as well. But it was fun for him to get a chance to see that, and it was fun for us to put that together. And so kind of fast forward to this year, eventually like mortality is really like in my face right now, and in my generation's face with our parents and friends that we're losing. I lost my mother at 18, so I've lost her over 20 years ago. It was in 1999. So yeah, going on 26 years since then. But now we're getting, that those things are kind of the one-off anomalies where parents are, you're losing parents at a younger age. But now we're starting to see, I have a number of friends whose parents have cancer or had it and beat it, passed away. A lot of stuff going on right now. And so, like I said, my dad is also dealing with some health issues that we're trying to, manage and get through, but he doesn't also have the energy. But all this stuff, we always joke with him. I'm like, Dad, you're leaving this mess for us. You're leaving this mess for us. We just joke about that. But I would highly encourage you to do this if you have the time and the means, or whatever. If you're close enough by, I would encourage your parents to do it too, because the one thing I wasn't expecting out of this whole thing was the joy it gave him to see these things and the stories. He wouldn't be able to tell you everything that was in the garage without going or everything that was stored in a back room. He wouldn't have been able to tell you exactly what everything was in there, but every single item that we brought out, he knew the story behind it. There was a story, like, I'll share this one. This is that kind of a funny one. My mom and dad, they met in middle school, and they were together. My dad has never remarried, never dated, anything like that. But there was this doll that I'd never seen before. It's been in my house for 50 years. and it's this doll that's called Lil Joey. My dad's name is Joe, and Lil Joey. And I was like, "What is this?" And it was just beat. I mean, it's been around for a while. And he said that was the doll. This Lil Joey, when my mom was mad at him in high school, she would throw it under her bed, and like that was like the sign that she's angry with him. I was like, "Oh man, that's kind of cruel." She's a little ruthless, but it was fun to go through and hear these stories. And he'd be like, "That was this was that," and he would just go through everything. And although we were throwing it all away, he never would have had the opportunity to see these things and tell these stories to my sister and I. It's just my sister and I are the only kids. So it was very, I was not expecting that aspect of it. The aspect of him being able to see it. Because if we wouldn't have done it, he ended up passing away at some point in the future, he never would have got to relive those memories. And now there's going to be things that we'll bring up Lil Joey again, but it was every single item that came out of there, he had a story from. And again, I highly recommend, if you get the opportunity to do this with whatever family member, whoever, if it's a friend, whatever, if it's like seems overwhelming, even if you just go take a few items out, like I highly recommend it, because this was, like I said, it was cathartic for him. He got to like have somewhat closure of getting these things out. Now he doesn't have all this mess there, and that's one of the things that also concerned me, is that, they have studies linking clutter to depression, and he's, a single guy, right? My sister's right next to him, so he gets to see her quite a bit. But, not only that was the benefit of everything, it was awesome to see and share those moments. So if you get a chance, I highly recommend it, and let me know if you do, because I'd love to hear the story as well and see how it goes with your loved ones. Again, I thought we were going to get way more resistance from him and have him be super upset with us, but he wasn't. There was a couple times where it was a little touch and go, but overall it was a great experience, and I 10 out of 10 would recommend. So hopefully you get that chance. If you do, let me know, and I will catch you on the next one. All right, have a great one.